Boy, the build to WrestleMania 37 has been absolute ass, hasn't it? I'm Joe Rectum with my review of WWE Raw, and honestly, after last week's episode that was adequate, this episode went right back down to earth. This wasn't good. It wasn't. There was a lot of bad comedy, a couple decent moments. The ending was a bit strange, but also somewhat intriguing, despite, the inclusion of somebody I didn't expect because they're on the other brand. It was just very, very strange, but a lot of this episode was really fucking bad. They were phoning it in. A lot of the wrestlers really had to go out there with absolutely nothing, or in the case of some of the worst material and try to make it work, and a lot of these segments just died quickly. I mean, and they kept going, and Raw wasn't very good at all. It was a slog. Drew arrives, and Sarah Schreiber immediately asks him, hey, what about Lashley's offer to the Raw locker room, about a WWE Championship match? Oh my God, what are you going to do? Sarah Schreiber looks great in blue, by the way. And he says he's not worried. He's going to give them a good old-fashioned arse kicking. Dags, you like Dags? And then the Hurt Business are in the ring. Hey, whoever takes out Drew will get a WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. And then MVP and Lashley are upset at Cedric and Shelton because they couldn't take out McIntyre 2-on-1. More like Drew on 1. Oh, that joke doesn't work at all. But I'm going to roll with it. And then we get a bit of a disagreement, and Lashley ends up laying out Shelton, and Cedric kind of runs away. And he says the Hurt Business is over. Great, just break up one of the stables. One of the best things going in WWE, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it's been, stable breakup crazy in WWE and in AEW, and I don't really quite get it, because I get it, at some point some things get stale. The Hurt Business had some more mileage left. I mean, I don't know, you could have had like, singles gold for like, one of these guys. I don't know. You just could have done so much more with them. It's not like the Undisputed Era where they done literally everything and then some and then you broke them up. But anyway, it was I don't want to even say it was heartbreaking. It was just weird because, okay, you have Cedric and Shelton that lose that match last week, so they can't be at ringside for Lashley versus Drew. Now they're out of the Hurt Business. Here's my question. Are they going to find a way to just nullify that stipulation and then they'll suddenly just run out because they're no longer part of the Hurt Business? They fudged with those stipulations before. Anyway, Riddle is backstage and says, Sheamus doesn't have a soul. That's unfair. I had a redhead girlfriend. She didn't have a soul, but she had plenty of... Moving on. Talks to Titus, rather, about, the roast to WrestleMania and all the food, that he could roast and everything because Riddle's a pothead. Nothing wrong with being a pothead, but Riddle is... another kind of, pothead, like the guy that has to smoke pot so he doesn't do, terrible things like hurt his wife. He actually said that in an interview, and I don't even think he was joking, honestly, given how he deals with women, allegedly. Anyway, Titus must have hated mentioning the fact that he is going to be co-hosting WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan, who still hasn't apologized for what he did, just for what, be careful what you say on camera, brothers. Anyway... So, Sheamus blindsides Riddle. See you out there. And then Pierce is being yelled at by Cedric and Shelton. We want Lashley. Shelton's going to face him, and Cedric gets to pick up the pieces. Pick up the pieces next week. A full capacity Lashley, because the match didn't last very long. Sheamus versus Riddle. MVP on commentary in place of Joe. If Samoa Joe is sick, if he has a virus, I hope he's okay. If he's just taking a break, whatever. I love Samoa Joe, and wouldn't mind seeing him back in the ring, but I do love him on commentary. MVP, though, tremendous talker. He did good shit here. Riddle has a scooter cam. Thanks, I hate it. And Sheamus continues to dominate Riddle was the line I wrote down. Has moments, but Riddle is very good in the ring, but I just lose interest because I just don't like the guy. He seems scuzzy, and I don't really like seeing him. He's a discount RVD, which is saying something because I've never really been the biggest fan of RVD, even though he's a tremendous athlete. But anyway, we get a low blow that the referee somehow didn't see, and a knee strike. 1, 2, 3. Riddle is upset. You're going to get what's coming to you. Ho ho, Riddle. Probably shouldn't say that, given your track record. So, again, allegedly. Then Drew McIntyre is talking to Styles and Omos. Oh, you want to take me out? No, we've got, bigger things to do at WrestleMania, like win the tag titles. Who told Omos that shirt was a good idea? I mean, the fact that they found something that color in his size is amazing. And then Shane's expose on Braun. They are presenting a 5th grade report card that's all doctored up with a bunch of D's. Not bad. A B. I just wanted a B with your report card. That's a deep cut for Rift Tracks fans. They had a 5th grade report card, and then Cracker Commander Riker, the Jackson Rectionist, decided to cut a few lines. Cut! Don't you have a Proud Boy meeting to be at? And no, I'm not going to apologize for that, or making fun of Proud Boy Braun, because if you're going to be that way, you can have different beliefs all you damn well want. I draw the line somewhere, and if it offends you, oh well, fuck you. I don't fucking care. I really don't care anymore. I'm not holding that shit back. I'm not holding that goddamn shit back. I'm not going to apologize one goddamn bit because they're pieces of shit. And being that way, and I wonder if Braun, I wonder if Braun still has the same mindset that he did about a year ago when he made the comments about, independent wrestlers, missing out on paydays and everything and pulling yourself up, by your bootstraps and everything and all that. Yeah, well, Braun, probably should, you deserve to get ridiculed for that, and you kind of deserve to get ridiculed and hammered repeatedly for maybe being a bigger idiot than we all thought you were initially. So anyway, yeah, this expose was ass. Absolute goddamn ass. This Shane Braun feud is shit. And then Proud Boy Braun versus Proud Boy Riker. We got train sound effects. Yay, choo-choo. All aboard the boredom train. Slam, 1, 2, 3. Who cares about this feud? Oh, there's going to be nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Apparently, Braun was recently playing Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 6 in Japan. And he was on that train, that, Train of the Dead, which I would actually like to see a Train of the Dead movie. Is there a Train of the Dead movie? Answers in the comments, please. But yeah, it was like that part in Final Fantasy 6, which actually was pretty... How did he suplex a train? Video game talk. Hooray. Yeah, steel cage match. Yeah, people can interfere in a steel cage match. It's the first steel cage match, I believe, at WrestleMania since WrestleMania 2. WrestleMania 2, which was absolute shit. Anyway, why does Morrison still have that hair? I couldn't help but be distracted. And my hair is full of secrets. Notorious M.I.Z. Can we swap Miz for Notorious? Anyway, hey, hop, hop. It was at this point that I questioned why WWE bothers to even, put on any semblance of a wrestling match. Why not just do comedy sketches? Because at this point, they pretty much nullified anything good that could have happened on the show. This was embarrassing. Now, some people may have gotten a kick out of it. That's fine if you did. I didn't. I didn't like it at all. It was dog shit. This was embarrassing. This is one of the worst moments in, recent Raw history. Not the worst moment because Katie Vick and all that and interviewing Pillman's widow the night after his death. But this is pretty goddamn shit. And then Priest and Bad Bunny show up. And Bad Bunny punches Miz and tosses the poster out. Yeah, this I will give Bad Bunny this much credit. If I thought the Bad Bunny's inclusion as a celebrity in, for WWE programming to WrestleMania was bad, no, I'm not a fan of his music. It is what it is. But at least he seems like he wants to be there. Now, they're including Logan Paul, and I will continue to ridicule the fact that they are including Logan Paul. Yeah, I'll still watch it because I'm a diehard wrestling fan, but guess what? I'm going to ridicule a piece of shit like that who still hasn't apologized for the video he took in that Japanese forest. And there's no way to apologize for that because you shouldn't have taken a picture of that. You shouldn't have taken a picture of it. You shouldn't have taken a goddamn video of it and mocked it. And he deserves to be endlessly mocked and verbally eviscerated and completely humiliated repeatedly, daily, because he's a piece of shit and so's his brother. Bad Bunny isn't, though. He's done a lot of good shit with his fame. Orton talks about The Fiend being an abomination, and I tuned out because I hate this feud. I'm not saying that Orton isn't trying. I'm not saying Alexa isn't trying. I'm not saying Bray isn't trying. He's probably trying to find another woman to trade up for, like he did with, his wife to JoJo. JoJo should worry, because JoJo's probably going to be left out in the cold like Bray's ex-wife was. Anyway, that was mean. Lashley versus Shelton. So, yeah, Hurt Lock for the win. There really wasn't much to this. Cedric was, all scared. New Day suggests that Styles and Almost play games to get some team synergy. New Day game night. This wasn't as bad as the New Day, but this was pretty goddamn bad. Pantomime. It's 1,000 miles. Who was this even for? Who was this for? Really, who was this? I don't know who this is for. Almost had had enough and says, all we have to do is win the match at Mania. Simple. And then he does some stuff later. By the way, there was a kid that was cutting a Hulk Hogan promo. It was a white kid, because if it was a black kid, then Hogan probably would have gone crazy, saying the word that he never apologized for saying. And yeah, he deserves to be slapped repeatedly for that, because he's a goddamn idiot. So is his whole goddamn family. His ex-wife, his stupid son that hasn't, spent nearly enough time in jail for practically killing a guy, when he drove carelessly. And Brooke, well, Brooke was a terrible singer and actress, so at least she's the best of the Hogans. Anyway, Styles versus Xavier. How BFG 2007 of them. Because consequences create Xavier Woods replacing Pac-Man Jones. That terrible idea of having Pac-Man Jones in a wrestling ring. And he teamed up with Ron the Truth Killings against Styles and Tomko. The fact I remember that is a little bit alarming. We get a DQ. Almost tosses Kofi onto a crash pad that doesn't make a noise, so one can only assume that Kofi got swallowed up by a Sarlacc. And then he choke bombs Xavier. Alexa's Playground. And man, it took forever for Vince to finally put Alexa's box on camera. And cool. And a Swinging Fiend. I don't know who this feud is for. If you like it, that's fine. So McIntyre's upset at the locker room. He confronts Braun. He tosses two people. Apparently one was Garza and one was Humberto Carrillo, who apparently has decided to go the Ricky Martin route of just getting absolutely goddamn jacked. And then he gives Gulak some head in the form of a Glasgow kiss. And not some head at the table because Roman isn't there. And then Ricochet steps up to the challenge. And then Mandy and Dana join commentary. We were over 2 hours in, and then we finally got the women here. And then we got two back-to-back women's segments. Shayna with Nia and Reginald versus Naomi with Lana. They had to cram 10 minutes worth of spots into like 3. And I don't even know if it was that long. Tried to roll up 1, 2, 3 with a whole friggin' fracas. And Nia tossed into Mandy. And then all this stuff. And why do they utilize women like this? I'm not even the biggest fan of a lot of these women. I mean, Shayna and Naomi, I think, could be a fun feud if they ever did that over the Raw Women's Championship. Mandy has pretty much regressed horribly, even though it's not her fault. Dana is what she is. Nia is a freaking water buffalo. Has been tranquilized repeatedly and will never get out of that. And Reginald can do flippy shit. This was bad. This was really bad. Asuka then laughs at Riddle, who forgets his line. Riddle, by the way, just, suddenly sneaking up on a woman unexpectedly and just confronting her. God, Riddle loves doing that, doesn't he? So, yeah, Asuka and Rhea have a contract. So I feel bad for Asuka. I really do. Because Asuka versus Rhea could be really good and will be good. Deserved a better build. Rhea smashed Asuka with a table. Rhea looks fucking fantastic. She does. And Asuka's fucking great. I hope Asuka was okay because she was down there for a while. She got smashed in the mouth. Not, hey, now you're an all-star. Then Shayna and Nia show up, and we get a tag match next week because that's the go-home show for WrestleMania, or the go-home Raw for WrestleMania. Ricochet tells MVP, tonight is for me. Kane, Khali, and RVD in the Hall of Fame. Cool. One great talent, and then RVD, which is a good talent, but does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. But then again, who else are you going to induct? And Khali, are they going to have a big enough screen for his chin? That's a good question. So, Ricochet versus McIntyre. Not bad. Claymore kick for 3. Ali then attacks. And it's like, oh, come on, fight me. It was nice that Shawn Michaels let Mustafa Ali, borrow his tights from Survivor Series 2002. They didn't do any good, though. Actually, those were shit brown. These are more like shit green. And then Claymore kick for 3. Though Ali did focus on the knee, so that wasn't bad. And then McIntyre begs Lashley to finish him off, and he comes out. They have a bit of a war of words, which Lashley again shouldn't talk. And then Corbin suddenly shows up for reasons, and then they both lay out Drew. Okay. Show wasn't good. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rethlin. I'll see you soon.